You know, the talent that exists in India is second to none. I think we have the most talented chefs, we have very talented restaurateurs, we have a lot of innovation happening in the Indian industry. And I think you're right when you talk about the experience. We're now catering to a very young audience. You have to understand that 60% of 1.3, 1.4 billion people of India are under the age of 35. These are the millennials. These are the people that are going to be predominantly earning a lot of money and spending it. So for the restaurant industry, this is the target market. The millennial is a very different animal from the generation before them. They're extremely free. They're waiting for social experiences. They're extremely interested in something new, fresh every day. They love socializing. So for them, the restaurant industry, the restaurants in general, the hotels, are the perfect avenue. They're not interested in ownership. They don't necessarily want to have an apartment. They're okay renting it. They don't necessarily want a car. They're okay Ubering it. But they definitely want to have a great social experience 2 to 3 times a week, which opens up huge possibilities for the restaurant industry. And that's why the experience matters even more. Earlier it was great food, great service, and you're going to have the customers rolling in. Now there's so much supply. There's in fact oversupply. And the demand is now beginning to go up, but it's still not commensurate with the supply. The number of restaurants right now in India are still a little bit more than perhaps the demand is. So by catering to an overall holistic experience, by catering to providing something fresh and innovative each day to your consumer, you're going to be able to survive and thrive. It's a very interesting point. Even despite the past 10 months of absolute mayhem that the industry has gone through, it's literally felt like we've got a target painted on our backs and somehow somebody there doesn't like the restaurant industry. But I think now things are starting to take a more saner direction with the Supreme Court ruling that within city limits the liquor ban does not apply is a big, huge step forward. Things like giving easier licensing, Mumbai perhaps becoming a 24/7 city. These are all positive directions. But the past 10 months have been full of turmoil. But if a restaurant company focuses on their key demographic, and going forward it will be the millennial, so people born 1982 onwards, they will be able to create experiences that really match up to their expectations. The millennial is a very tough customer to please. They've got a lot of options, they're well traveled, they're jaded, and they're really very interested in fresher, innovative experiences. And if you provide that, you'll have them for life. You know, it's about the overall vibe. And a vibe is a very difficult thing to address or to pinpoint what is a vibe. I think it's a combination of figuring out what kind of a concept you're building. So a fine dining has to have a different vibe from a casual dining or from a high energy restaurant. So for example, our Farzi cafes, they have a very high energy, youthful vibe. We always have loved Indian food. We've been eating it for decades, eons, centuries, right? But it was never cool. It was never packaged properly. The youth would go to an Indian restaurant for celebrating Dadaji's birthday or parents' anniversary, but they would never go for a date night. Farzi Cafe changed that by introducing a high energy vibe, by introducing playfulness to the food, by introducing modern cutting edge elements, by introducing music. We were able to somehow create this perfect hybrid concept where the food that they loved was there, but it was packaged better. It was wrapped up beautifully. And suddenly the youth started coming. And now modern Indian food is the biggest buzzword. It's the biggest phenomenon that's taking over the entire country. There are more restaurants opening up in the modern Indian genre than any other genre. In fact, all the other genres put together. So it's worked. It's done beautifully. And my goal was always to put Indian food on the global palate. I can't put Indian food on the global palate if it's not even on the palate of my own youth. So I think that's what Farzi Cafe was trying to do. It was trying to make Indian food really cool and hip and exciting for the youth, for the millennial, and then we take it overseas. And that's what we did with Dubai. When we went to Dubai, we completely changed the concept. Obviously no liquor, but a lot of other food-based elements. And we were suddenly able to realize that, wait a minute, this phenomena of modern Indian food will easily transcend borders, because it's done beautifully over there. The Sheikh, the ruler of His Highness, the ruler of Dubai, has come to the restaurant 4 times, which is unheard of, and it's created a wave. In fact, now we're going to be opening about 10 new restaurants in the Middle East. So what really gives me a lot of heart, it's very heartening for me, is to know that Indian food is finally reaching where it should be. That's what my personal goal has always been. And by providing fresher experiences, but within the Indian food sort of circle or habitat or environment, is what I see as the future of food from India. Not only tourism, you have to understand the importance of this industry. We are a very important industry, but we somehow don't get that credit. We don't get that attention or that respect that we deserve. Do you know that the Indian restaurant business is 40 times larger than Bollywood? It is still the primary form of entertainment in this country. It produces 2% of this country's GDP, and we're a big economy. I think we're the fourth or fifth largest economy in the world. 2% of the fourth or fifth largest economy in the world is provided by one industry. We're the second largest employer of people in India after agriculture. It is a very important industry. We pay thousands of crores in taxes, employment to millions. We're the primary form of entertainment and happiness for a lot of Indians. So the government needs to realize that. Rather than considering us as an ancillary side business or something that does not deserve the attention and respect that they feel we do, I think is very counterproductive. I think the entire system, the environment has to be more hospitable. We cannot be considered as a amoral or immoral industry. We're not. How are we immoral? If you're giving an opportunity for people to enjoy themselves, you're getting them an opportunity to celebrate important events, you're giving them an opportunity to relax after a very hectic week or day, how is that immoral? I mean, the whole world respects the restaurant industry, but somehow the culture within India is that it's considered almost, evil. It's not evil. It's a very, very important industry, and we add a lot of value. I think the entire legal landscape, the governance aspects need to be improved significantly. Licensing needs to be made easier. Crazy laws like liquor ban needs to be stopped, rationalized. I'm not saying that we're ungoverned. We want more governance, but we want smart governance. We want rational governance. And I think that's the need of the hour. If we have rational governance, the industry will continue to boom at a rate never seen before. So I'm very, very excited about some of the past things that have happened in the past 1 month, in fact, with the whole liquor ban being lifted, with the talk in Mumbai about the 24/7 and longer opening hours. I think these two things are really giving me a sense of hope. But so far the environment is very unfriendly and it needs to change.
So, going forward, what trend you are seeing in the industry? What is going to rule the industry in 2017 coming ahead?
I think it's going to be innovation. I think the primary thing that's going to be important for survival in the restaurant business, and it's very competitive. And remember, it's the most highest failure rate industry in the world. 90% of all restaurants that open shut down within the first year, 96% shut down within the second. Highest failure rate. People think it's a low-hanging fruit. I have a little bit of money, let me open a restaurant, I'll make it work. It doesn't work like that. It's heavily systems-oriented. It's heavily dependent on a lot of effort. It's not a 9-to-5 job. It's a career choice. It's a lifestyle choice. So I think going forward, we're going to be looking at a lot of focus on... I completely lost track of your question.